Hi, how y'all doing? This is Deborah again. This is part 2 on, and I'm gonna move this. Hopefully y'all can see me. This is part 2 on a video series I'm doing about the elections. Let me get this right here so y'all can see me properly. On the 2018 ballot initiatives. Sorry about that. I will be reading from the computer, so I'm going to try to situate this camera where y'all can see me, where I don't miss a whole lot. I don't have a tripod. It is what it is for now. Okay, I think this will work. Okay, like I said, this is part 2 of the Georgia 2018 elections, of what is actually some items that are on the ballot. Okay, my name is Deborah, in case you didn't know. The website that I'm reading from is called Ballotpedia, and it gives information, and I'm going to be reading some of this, a lot of it I'm going to be reading, but it's more so to just make you aware of what is on the ballot that we should be voting on for 2018. A lot of the information is not being told to us or not being advertised. A lot of these issues are issues that I just recently found out a few weeks ago, so I figure as I classify myself as being aware, so I didn't know about a lot of these issues, so I'm reading them out now. Okay, the highlights on this is as of October 2nd, 2018. There were 7 statewide ballot measures that were certified to be on the Georgia ballot in November. Okay, the state legislature referred 5 constitutional amendments to the 2018 ballot. One amendment would establish what's called Marsy's Law, which is a specific Bill of Rights for crime victims in the state's constitution. Okay, there are 4 other states that will be voting on this in 2018, so that's a national, and I'm going to click on that. That is a national issue. So a total of 5 states are going to be voting on that. Okay, my internet is not up on that. Let me see if I can go back. Oh, looks like I lost my internet. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess it was just for that website. Just very interesting to me. But anyway, you want to pull that up and read that. Marcy is spelled Marsy, Marsy's Law. Okay. And the other amendments, it has, one is to establish a statewide business court. B is an outdoor recreation equipment sales tax revenue lockbox for conservation. Basically, what happens if you sell outdoor equipment, the sales tax goes for conservation in the state. The third one is an amendment concerning timberland and forest conservation, land value, and taxation, and a process for county referendums on a 1% education sales tax. And it says there's 2 other statewide referendums on the ballot. Okay. Okay, so let me read these and let me see what the types are. I don't really know these codes. Okay, legislative referred constitutional amendment. Okay. So the items on here are either the constitutional amendment or there's another code, legislative referred state statute. Okay. Now, Amendment 1 is in budgets and environment, and again, this is a constitutional amendment. Okay, so it's going to change the state constitution, and that is to create a land conservation trust fund with 0.75% of revenue from sales and use taxes on outdoor recreation equipment. Okay, so let's talk just briefly about that. Overall, I think it's a good idea. But offhand, my only concern is that percent value. Is there already a land and conservation trust funding with more than 0.75, or is it one at all? I'm not real sure about that. Okay. All right, let me click on where it says Amendment 1. Excuse me. Okay. So what this says is sales tax legislature. Okay, a yes vote supports amending the state constitution to authorize the legislature to dedicate up to 80% of revenue from the sales and use tax on outdoor recreation equipment to the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund to fund land conservation. A no vote opposes amending the state constitution to authorize the legislature to dedicate up to 80% of revenue from the sales and use tax on outdoor recreation equipment to the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund to fund land conservation. Okay, so it's going to be, the shorty is a yes vote, means that this organization called the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund is going to receive up to 80% of the revenue from the sales and use tax on outdoor recreation equipment in the state of Georgia. And a no means that no, they're not going to get 80%. Okay? Okay, so the ballot title for Amendment 1 basically says, without increasing the current state sales tax rate, shall the Constitution of Georgia be amended so as to create the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund to conserve lands that protect drinking water sources and the water quality of rivers, lakes, and streams, to protect and conserve forests, fish, wildlife habitats, state and local parks, and to provide opportunities for our children and families to play and enjoy the outdoors by dedicating, subject to full public disclosure, up to 80% of the existing sales tax collected by sporting goods stores to such purposes without increasing the current state sales tax rate. Okay, that's a lot said. And just something to think about. If you want to back up and replay the video to find out what this was about, that's fine. I hadn't planned on trying to get all the ballot initiatives on one video, but it looks like that's a lot to take in, and I'm not even finished. But look up Ballotpedia for the state of Georgia 2018 election, and in there it's called ballot measures. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly where it was in there, but that's just one ballot initiative for something to be thinking out. So again, this is part 2 of the Georgia State Department, of the Georgia election cycle for 2018. That is one of the ballot initiatives that will be on the ballot. Please register to vote if you have not done so, and more importantly, get yourself to the voting box, but know what you're voting on. Before you get there, at least know what the issues are. Okay, so again, if you don't vote, just because you don't vote does not mean that you're not going to be affected by the vote. Okay, that, just reading this from its first initiative, ballot measure, that's pretty serious. That's a pretty serious thing going on here. So I will be voting, and I hope you will be too. All right. Stay tuned for more videos that I'm going to post in a very short order because of the time frame. October 9th is a cutoff date to register to vote here in the state of Georgia. If you're sitting on the fence, just because you register doesn't mean that you're actually going to vote. I hope that you do, but just in case, You want to be registered to vote so that you can exercise that opportunity. There's early voting going on. There's mail-in ballots. There's at the booth. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on. If whatever reason, I would encourage people to early vote. I usually do early voting or mail-in as a backup. Then I'll go to the ballot, to the voting booth on the date of the ballot if I didn't get either one of those. But my intention is always to vote early, just in case anything can happen. You know, a lot of people are scared of the rain, and so they won't go out to vote. They're basing that off of 20 minutes standing in the rain for the next 2 to 4 years of their lives. So go figure. All right. So anyway, watch for more videos on that. Stay tuned. Bye.